Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to a moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up next in our Hydration with Heart segment, brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, we're featuring Ella Burbige, a junior at Southside High School in Rockville Centre, New York. Ella is part of the IB program and very much dedicated to her academic success. She's a varsity and travel basketball player, as well as Secretary of Student Government. If that's not enough, she's 11th grade president of the DECA Club. DECA is a national business club where students compete at state and national competitions with business role plays. It provides great networking opportunities. For DECA this year, Ella started her own nonprofit organization, the Heart and Soul Foundation, to compete in the Community Awareness Project Management section. This organization has been providing young athletes with free EKG cardiac screenings to detect heart abnormalities. The aim is to prevent sudden cardiac arrest in youth across America, and she has been spreading awareness and very active about sudden cardiac arrest in young athletes and the importance and growing need of AEDs. Now, an AED, or what they call an automated external defibrillator, is used to help those experiencing sudden cardiac arrest. It's a sophisticated yet easy to use medical device that can analyze the heart's rhythm and, if necessary, deliver an electrical shock or defibrillation to help the heart reestablish an effective rhythm. She raises money for the purchase of AEDs to donate to facilities and schools in need through the Heart and Soul Foundation's GoFundMe campaign. These screenings are crucial in saving lives and lowering sudden cardiac arrest statistics. The question is, can this be prevented? And the short answer is yes. To date, Ella has already saved lives and has made a positive impact. Welcoming now to the show is the incredible Ella Burbige. Welcome to the show, Stunner.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on. So we're chatting sudden cardiac arrest and AEDs, saving lives and making differences. So can you tell us about the inspiration behind starting the Heart and Soul Foundation and how it all began? I want to know what motivated you to focus on providing free EKG cardiac screenings to young athletes and raise awareness about sudden cardiac arrest in youth.
My inspiration and motivation behind starting my own organization around this issue was definitely being an athlete myself and having a personal connection with this issue. After personally knowing someone who suffered sudden cardiac arrest on the basketball court last year, I was motivated to ensure that other athletes like him can be saved by an AED. And these events have becoming increasingly more common in the news, and you're hearing a lot more about them. And I wanted to do something to be able to prevent these events. And it all began by doing research on sudden cardiac arrest, as well as researching the growing need of AEDs. There are 30 million AEDs needed in the US, and if I can make a difference by donating AEDs to local schools and facilities in need, this could help save lives in my community. And I started my awareness campaigns using an Instagram and a website, which helped me take off and start this process.
You are incredible, Ella. And for those of you that are not familiar, but sudden cardiac arrest can happen at any age. And it's really the leading cause of death in teenage athletes in the United States and accounts for approximately 10% of all deaths in youth. So this is very serious because the numbers are staggering. You're definitely onto something. Now, for years, many experts have recommended routine EKG exams to supplement standard pre-participation medical evaluations for all student athletes. The thinking is that if you can detect problems early, physicians can recommend that athletes take precautions or perhaps even withdraw from sports altogether to mitigate the risk of sudden cardiac arrest and death. So let's chat AEDs. We know that they protect and save lives from one of the leading causes of death, which is SCA. That's one of the leading causes of death here in America. And placing AEDs in schools is one of the strategies that policymakers have been pursuing in order to reduce deaths from SCA in youth. How do you fundraise for the purchase of AEDs, and what is the impact of donating these devices to facilities and schools in need?
The Heart and Soul Foundation has their own GoFundMe, where I've been collecting donations, which will go towards the purchase of AEDs for local facilities and schools in need. I'm raising money for these AEDs by stressing the importance of them and the desperate need for them on my Instagram and my website. And during my screening events, I'm recommending to the participants to make a donation, and I'm giving out donation cards as well as sending them home to the families along with the copy of their EKG. And many facilities have very little AEDs, and they could be hard to locate. And for one to be effective, they have to be used within a few minutes. And by getting AEDs to places in need, I'm helping save future lives and ensuring protection to not just young athletes, but to everybody around.
You are just, I mean, Ella, you are taking all the right steps to really make a difference here, and you're so young, and the fact that you have this roadmap is so impressive because on any given day, we know that 20% of the US population can be found in school. And given this and the prevalence of sudden cardiac arrest among students, schools are logical hosts for life-saving defibrillators. It doesn't take a genius to crack that code. So despite recommendations that AEDs be placed in all schools from the scientific community and health organizations like the American Heart Association, the laws on AED requirements for schools vary widely from state to state. So thank you for being so proactive and covering the grounds that not even our own government has covered. Now, can you share some examples of how the Heart and Soul Foundation has made a positive impact on the lives of young athletes and their communities?
Yeah. So far I've held two free EKG screenings provided for young athletes. The first screening was held at my high school, and it was open to everyone from the high school and the middle school from my community. And my second screening event was held with my town CYO organization at my local parish center, St. Agnes. And these screenings are positively impacting young athletes' lives because they're providing them with the opportunity to detect a heart abnormality. 1 in 300 youths are unaware of a heart abnormality, and by finding one with a simple EKG screening, it can prevent future sudden cardiac arrest. And during one of these screenings, one young athlete was detected with a serious heart abnormality, and without knowing of it, he was at risk for experiencing sudden cardiac arrest. He was sent for further workup and a treatment, which now has prevented him from being one of these statistics. I'm protecting the young athletes and their families of my community and making them feel safer during their activities and daily lives. I'm also spreading awareness about this issue and connecting with people who have survived sudden cardiac arrest and people with current heart conditions.
Incredible. Somebody told me once, a very wise person, that we were all meant to save a life, and God is always trying to save lives, and it seems like he usually uses the least likely people to do it. So you have been chosen. Now, can you explain the process of organizing and conducting an EKG cardiac screening? I mean, how do you choose the locations and participants?
Yeah, it's a very thorough process, especially the screening I set up at my high school. I had to go through a lot of administrators and authorities to get it approved. I got an LLC for my organization to ensure I had the right insurance for it. And I had to get the machines and the computer software for these screenings from a company in Boston that have done these screenings before. And I also had to hire nurses and PAs who are actually some of my friends' parents to help volunteer and conduct these screenings. And once the screenings were finished and the EKGs were printed out, I give them to a cardiologist who reviews them and checks them over. And the screenings need to be set up in a specific way to ensure the privacy of each patient. And I need to have consent and authorization forms from each participant with their parents, filled out by their parents or themselves. And I chose the locations of these screenings so far to be in my local community because I wanted to protect the athletes of my town and give back to the facilities where I play sports at myself and protect the people around me and who I play sports with every day.
You are running an entire, not only organization, but this feels like you're the CEO of a major corporation at this point, from the top down, just doing it all. And it clearly shows that you have a clear roadmap and a very, very strong business sense of where this should go. So congratulations to you for that. Now, what kind of partnerships or collaborations have you established with organizations and schools or maybe even healthcare professionals to achieve your mission?
I first had to form the connection with the Boston ECG project to ensure that I had the correct machines and software to be able to conduct these screenings. I then had to partner with Dr. Gabriels, who is a cardiologist at Northwell Health and Cohen's Children's Medical Center, to have him review the screenings after they were conducted by the PAs and nurses that volunteered. I collaborated with Southside High School in St. Agnes to hold these screenings, and I'm also in the process of partnering with Zoll, which is an AED company, to be able to purchase the AEDs with the donations I have received so far.
You're on it. What aren't you doing, Ella? We are almost out of time. We have about 1 minute left. How can individuals or organizations support and get involved with the Heart and Soul Foundation's mission?
By following the Instagram page and keeping up with the website, you can learn more about sudden cardiac arrest and ways you can make a difference. By getting an EKG screening, you can be protecting yourself from sudden cardiac arrest and help lower the statistics of them occurring. And donating to the Heart and Soul Foundation's GoFundMe is a very beneficial way to get involved because you could help put an AED where one is necessary, which can ultimately save a life.
Well, I could proudly say that you've listed all of the check marks on the DECA requirement to win this because you are not just really, really educated about your cause and your mission, but you're passionate. And your passion is driving you, and I could see that. Thank you so much for coming on. You are such an inspiration.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. That was our Hydration with Heart segment brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut. That was the incredible Ella Burbige, a high school junior and founder of the Heart and Soul Foundation. You can head directly to her website at theheartandsoulfoundation.com. Check her out on the gram at the Heart and Soul Foundation. And you can also go directly to her GoFundMe page at GoFundMe.me, and you can search Heart and Soul Foundation. It will pop right up. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.